Here's talking about anime. Guess it's important to hear what they say. Argue over weapons throughout night and day. Now that you listen to the Rant Cafe.
Yo, what is up, boys? How's it going? And welcome back to another episode of the Rant Cafe Anime Podcast. We are keeping this shit going. Today we are talking about Samurai X, the Trust and Betrayal OVAs. We're talking about Yandere Dark Elf, which is a new trashy anime. And we're talking about Claymore, which is an OG one that I recommended. With me today we have Jordan, the anime dude, who recommended Samurai X. What up, bro?
What up, everybody? Happy to be here. Hope everybody's doing well.
And Samurai X, that is the Rurouni Kenshin, like, prequel, in a way?
Prequel, yeah, essentially. It's adapting, like, an old flashback from later on in the manga, but it's, like, just with a very different tone and things like that. So kind of adapted into its own standalone thing there.
Very cool. And, of course, for the trashy anime, we have Recon, Anime Recon.
Hello, I'm the one who recommended the Dark Elf borderline H anime. So yeah, that's gonna be fun to discuss.
Why am I not surprised? And I recommended Claymore. It was one I watched a long time ago back in the day. I did remember liking it, and it was just like I did owe it as well for my one of my subathon goals on Twitch as a watch. So I'm like, you know what? Might as well do two birds with one stone. We were supposed to watch XXX Holic as well. However, we weren't very productive, or at least me and Recon weren't. So we will be carrying that one over to next week. I think 4 is a little ambitious. I think 3 is probably the way to go.
Yeah,
especially
I would agree
for
with
me.
that.
It's too much for me because I watch the news and the new stuff that come out. So I'm like, yeah,
Don't
I ain't
worry.
got time.
If you've already watched XXX Holic, I'll make that my recommendation for next week. So you didn't do it in vain. So
Perfect.
for anybody out there.
All right. Which one do you want? I say we talk about Yandere Dark Elf first.
We gotta.
Kick it off. You guys gotta kick it off. Let's go.
I think saving the best for last is very old-fashioned. I'm more, let's just get it out there right out the gate.
Hell yeah. All right. Yandere Dark Elf. It held my attention. It is absolute trash. I don't know. I don't know if it's just I've outgrown it. I just don't get the point. I'm like, just fuck already. I'm like, it's just hentai without being hentai.
They basically almost did. Like,
Yeah.
they were getting there, bro. I was midway through, like, that second episode, and I had to send Recon that meme of, like, where he's looking at the
American Dad.
the meter, and it's, like, it's anime, but it's, like, almost hentai. It's, like, about to cross that threshold. Bro, they were getting kind of heated there for a bit in that nurse's office.
So the main character, the world starts off with our main character, and he's like the hero. He defeated the demon lord, and he was going back to his world. And then there's this Yandere Dark Elf that's like, I want to come with you. She uses all her magic to follow him back to our world, and she is just absolutely obsessed with the main character and wants to smash him. Her dimensions are over the top ridiculous. She does have a childish looking face, which pisses me off. Why do they keep on doing this shit? When she's like angry and like seductive, her face changes. I'm like, that's the face she should have had the whole time. Why did she go?
I
It's
feel
an
like she has a
elf.
very
It's an-
seductive face.
Elves
Yeah.
look young. Elves are meant to look young. It's just-
I guess
she's-
that's the thing.
You know she's like thousands of years old. Come on.
Probably. I just
Like, look at that picture you have on the screen right now. That doesn't look like
That's
a
what I'm
kid to
saying.
me.
When her eyes get more
Yeah.
like rectangular, she looks her age, or her face matches her body.
Art style.
And then when it gets super moe, it bothers me. And it never used to bother me. I don't know what happened to me. I'm washed. I'm not a real anime fan. But it was that rock anime that you made us watch. It was the same thing. This super thick older woman with just a moe face. I'm like, I don't know. It bothered me.
I've still only seen the first episode of that rock anime, but like it didn't seem that ecchi to me overall. Like I was just enjoying it for the science. But I've seen so much official artwork since then where they're just going hard with it. They're leaning into just her. So I don't know. I don't know what to think anymore.
Yeah.
What did you guys think about the beach episode?
Of Yandere?
Actually, no.
That's not in the first three.
Never mind.
It's
Never
not in
mind.
the
That
first
comes
three.
later on, but there is a super hot beach episode that you guys would definitely get into it.
I'm not surprised. I am not surprised. Yeah, but that's more or less it. The premise is this dark elf world a girl follows him back to this world and is obsessed with him and wants to smash him. And more than that, I would say she's in love with him. or she has said that many times. And you get these weird, like, crazy scenes, over the top, etchy scenes, with like the bathroom scene in episode 1. Episode 2 or 3 has the volleyball scene where she hurts her ankle, and then they are like almost ready to do it. And of course, someone walks in because this is etchy and not hentai, so it has to be interrupted. Just might as well make it a hentai. Just make it a hentai. That's my stance.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Recon. I don't
Did
know
you
if I could
enjoy
watch
it?
more. I'm not gonna. I don't know if I could watch more. I'm not gonna say I didn't enjoy it because I'm a big Yandere guy. Like I like a little bit of crazy in my life, right? I like dark elves a lot. Like they're just naturally attractive, right? There's a lot to like.
Oh yeah,
there,
they are.
but it's just so surface level where there's like not much of a point to it that like I'm not gonna lie, I struggled a bit, right? I struggled a bit. I kept comparing her to like Claire, and I'm like, you know what? If I didn't watch these in the same week, like, you know, maybe I'd appreciate the Dark Elf more. But like, there's just something about the older anime, man.
Yep.
There's just
It's true. They tried.
You know what?
They tried to have a
Depth
little bit of depth where like other humans or characters in her old world would be like prejudiced towards her. And the way dark elves work in this universe, it's like they feed off of other people's energy and their inner like thoughts and emotions. So our main character has very positive thoughts towards the dark elf, and then that kind of reflects her feelings towards her. He also saved her, of course, damsel in distress type situation. They tried. They tried to write some stuff, you know.
I will say I did appreciate that part where it wasn't everything revolving entirely around the main character. Like, obviously she's a yandere, so she's gonna get jealous at times. But the schoolgirl that is in his class that kind of has a crush on him, you know, she seemed like a little bit of like a nerd, liked to read a lot. So the concept of like an isekai was like really cool to her, right? So she was just kind of fangirling over the dark elf initially, and that was such a stark contrast to like, you know, her getting discriminated against in that old world, right? So like the fact that they were able to kind of bond there a little bit and close that gap a little bit, that was heartwarming.
Yeah.
I did like that. So they were able to kind of be friends.
She made a friend, and they were worried about like they went shopping for her and did little things, and then I don't know. I did appreciate those little details. Would I watch more? Probably not. It's not exactly my cup of tea anymore. But
I will say, episode here or there, I could maybe see myself watching it because it's not like it drags it on too much, right? It is like 12-minute episodes, so like, or it's like short episodes. So I think that helps a lot. It doesn't take itself too seriously. So
fair.
it knows what it is.
I genuinely like the points that you guys make, and it absolutely right. It's just a generic, trashy, dumpster fire anime that you just watch on your own time, and you're like, yeah, that's cool, and then you just move on to the next one. So
if nothing else, it was fun to watch. I can give Recon a hard time.
It's just super simple, super easy. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. If you're an etchy fan, you will love this. If you're not, then yeah, forget about it.
Ooh.
Anyway.
Which I know I know Briggs is not an etchy fan, but Jordan, I know you are.
I go back and forth. Like I don't love it, but it doesn't ever bother me at all, right? Like it does a lot of people. Okay. So it I appreciate it every now and again.
I feel like I don't dislike etchy for the reasons other people dislike etchy. I feel like other people dislike etchy because they're like, this is like weird or different or like ruining the plot. I feel like if the anime is good, I don't give a fuck. I watch Food Wars. I watch No Game No Life. Like, if the anime is good or I like the anime, I don't care about the etchy. It's never something that's bothered me. But when the point of the show tends to be the etchy, I'm just like, just smash already.
No, I think that's a great call out. I'm very much the same way in that, like, I'm very desensitized to it. Like, I don't even notice it a lot of the times where it's like bothering other people.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me at all.
And I'll be like, that had etchy in it. Like, I don't even notice. But if it's the entire show is etchy for the sake of etchy, it can be a little bit hard to watch. So.
Yeah, and I think High School DxD, while it is etchy for the sake of etchy a lot of the time, it does do it well. Like, it has good fights, a good power system, sometimes some good story. Like, despite High School DxD's main point being etchy, it feels like that's like the first and foremost. I do think High School DxD is actually a banger.
Season 1 of DxD was funny. I want to read it at some point, but I think I struggled with that one because I watched it like a couple years ago, like as an adult, right? So like I wasn't 14 or 15 when I watched it. So there's certain times
I watched it.
That I
watched DxD back in high school when I was still in high school.
I feel like if you watch it at that point in your life, it's gonna be peak for you. Like
maybe that's why I'm biased towards it. I watched it when I was 14, 15 years old. I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
I still have fond memories. I'm like, that anime was good. I will defend it no matter what.
It has a lot of fans. I want to read.
I watched
them
it in
books at
dub
some
as
point.
well. In dub.
True.
Because it
Oh,
was
yeah,
one of
but
my first anime. Because it was one of my
Oh,
first anime. So
I watched
in
it in dub too. The dub was good. Like I said, it cracked me up in that first season. Like there were some good little one-liners and zingers in there. So,
Mm-hmm.
but enough about DxD.
I
I'm
don't
not
know
here to
why.
talk
I
about
watched
DxD.
so much Itchy when I was a kid, man. High School DxD, Two Love Ru, and a lot of
Yeah.
those.
Two
you
Lover
know,
is another one I liked as a kid. Like I watched
uh,
all of the season one, but trying to rewatch it, I struggled a little bit. Like so that's another good example.
True.
Right.
True.
We're going off topic. Let's go to
Let's
jump
go.
next anime. Let's go.
Let's go to Claymore. I do want to save the best for last.
Claymore.
I probably have the most to talk about for Samurai X.
You're welcome.
But yes, that was beautiful. I honestly think it's in my top 20 favorite things I've ever watched. Okay, Claymore. Like I want to rewatch it again. Anyway, Claymore. Let's talk about Claymore. You guys give me your thoughts.
I'm mad I only watched the first 3 episodes. I'll let Recon go from there if he wants, but like
All right.
the ending of episode 3, it's like the biggest cliffhanger, and I stopped and I hate myself for it. I need to watch more of it.
I'm sort of mixed on this anime. I'm not gonna lie. It's like good, but also I feel like it's gonna get a little bit worse. I don't know why, but anyways. So my first impressions for this show is that it's solid. It's not amazing, but it's solid. It's nice to have, an overpowered protagonist who is female for once, because these days, you guys know how it's just always males, but it's nice to get a female for once.
Yeah.
Even though this is old in 2007, but this show is very gory and it's dark. It's about these monsters. They call them, I think, Yoma, and they come, they want to feast on people and shit, and there's special people with powers, and they are called Claymore, and one of them is called Claire. So she saves a bunch of people, and using her cool powers and slaying those demons, and she saves a guy called Raki.
Yeah.
And then he goes with her on her adventures, but the problem starts here. I don't know about Rocky, man. I feel like he's just a waste of space for some reason. He's just such an average guy. He's nothing special at all. Like, why does he even want to go on an adventure with a demon-slaying woman? Like, it just kind of doesn't make any sense.
I'll defend my boy.
Defend your boy, Jordan. Defend your boy. He's annoying, a little bit annoying, but I give
Yeah,
you the
he's.
benefits.
I don't
Go
know
ahead.
about him, man.
He is a little bit annoying, but I will say, like, whenever a character starts out like that, there's room for growth. But in that first episode, I was annoyed with the rest of like the world and the cast, because not to say I wasn't enjoying the series. I hear it compared to Berserk a lot. I had high expectations going in, and I was enjoying it. But this hot blonde, half demon goddess like walks into
She's
town,
hot.
and everybody's scared of her. Everybody's scared of her. They're closing their windows. They're closing their doors, and he was the only one to like, have an interest. Be like, you know what?
I found my goddess.
I'm gonna
I
try
found
to
my
talk to her a
goddess.
little bit. Be nice to her. Just have a conversation. And he ends up getting to. He's the reason we kind of get to know her a little bit better, right? Like she kind of closes off the world, tries to be cold, but like you can tell she's a little bit kind of hard from the times where she helps him out, the times that she helps those guys
Bro,
out.
she is
in episode
emotionless
3.
though. She's emotionless.
She
doesn't-
tries to
she's
be.
very cold.
She tries to be, but like you can she even says like, don't expect kindness from me, but her actions say otherwise, right? So there's always like a little bit of that, from her saving his life to like bring him to an inn, or saving those guys in episode 3. But like we only get to know her because of him, right? Because my boy took the risk. He's like, I'm not going to discriminate against the hot blonde girl that, with gray eyes, or all these claymores, as you call it. Like they're kind of cool. They're kind of neat, and I respect them for that. Okay. Don't be hitting on my boy.
So I don't like it as much as I did in my memory, because I probably watched this when I was like 14, 15 years old, and I did remember liking it a lot, and I read a bit of the manga as well. And I think the manga is better than the anime, which tends to be the case with a lot of like older anime sometimes. Especially when I watched the dub back in the day with it's not the best dub, to be honest. But anyway, I do like the contrast between Claire and Rocky kind of bringing out her human side sometimes, and maybe keeping her alive in a way, because her friend, who was also a Claymore, who at a certain point, like you're at this constant struggle with the Yomi, with the Yoma or Yomi within you, and essentially at a certain point the Yoma takes over, and you are no longer yourself. So I feel like having someone that's able to keep your human side human, like Rocky, is like a good little. And it's a good contrast. I don't know. I remember liking this show a lot. I want to watch more because I wasn't in love with the first 3 episodes upon rewatch.
Yeah. That's why it's solid. It's just, to me, Rocky, like, I know he's there for like the romance side of things and to keep her humanity there. It's like, the calm down, girl, calm down, don't go berserk yet. Like, okay, we understand, but I still feel like he's just a waste of space. He's just there
he got
tagging along.
Dude,
wait.
I
know he got kicked out.
His parents got killed. His brother, his uncle got killed, and he got kicked out of his town. He was saved by her. Where's he gonna go, dude?
I know, but the thing is, I feel like he's really gonna get in the way of this girl. I have no idea how, but he's just gonna get in the way somehow, some way.
Yeah, get in the way of her turning into a Yoma, saving her life, becoming her savior.
Or he's gonna get himself in trouble, and she has to constantly save him. Like, I'm here to save you. I don't know. Yeah. It's just I have these weird thoughts in me. That's why I feel like this anime is just gonna get bad.
You know what? Speaking of what Briggs was saying just a little bit earlier, and with the recon spitting all these facts, I think I'm gonna flip flop a little bit. I don't like Rocky either. I can't stand Rocky. All my homies hate Rocky. All right,
all my homies hate Rocky, bro.
Episode 2, he got under my skin more than normal.
Fuck Claire. She walks into this town. They should have been like, witch, birds are at the stake, witch. She can do math, witch.
So you know how you said that Claymores are, they're half demon. They constantly have that battle within because at some point they lose touch with that humanity. And with Claire's friend, her only friend, she felt like she was on that edge. She reached out to Claire with that letter, saying, I want you, my friend, to come kill me while I'm still human, right? So that was like the emotional part of episode 2. And Rocky, just complete third party, no relation to this woman whatsoever.
Who is he? Who's that man?
She's in the middle of transforming, right? She's like, kill me while I'm still human. And he tries to stop Claire. He's like, Claire, don't do this. And I'm like, Rocky, what are you doing? Like, if we're in the middle of a zombie apocalypse, okay? And I'm in the, like, I got bit. I'm about to, my time's coming to an end. And I'm like, Briggs, I want to die a human. Kill me while I'm still human. I don't want, like, Briggs's friend that I've never met before in my life being like, Briggs, don't do it. I'm like, no, I'm telling him to do it. Just let him do it, all right? Please do this for me.
That wasn't your place. It did have one of those things as well with Rocky, that, like, a lot of exposition, re-explaining things. He seems, like, obviously very not the brightest, a little naive and ignorant and stuff. And just that doesn't... I think they use Rocky as a way to inform the audience about a lot of things. About Claymores, but it's like, okay, I already picked up on that like fucking 5 minutes ago, and he's like, they're half this and half that. So, like,
episode 1 was really bad about that. Yeah.
The thing is, this is such a straightforward show. Like, it's so easy to understand. Like, okay, you got a Claymore, she slays demons, and she's fighting her inner demon self. Like, okay, what is the point of this human character who is so useless, though?
To keep her human, but also, he's annoying as fuck. That scene bothers me
annoying.
Too. Jordan, the scene where he tried to like hold her back from essentially like doing that person's final wish before dying or before losing her soul. That annoyed me as well. Fuck Rocky, fuck Claire. Honestly, fuck Claymore. Just fuck Claymore at this point.
Yeah.
By the way,
I was curious how much
we forgot to rate Dark Elf. What would you guys rate it?
2.5 out of 10. 1.5 out of 10.
I usually rate stuff like this pretty harshly. I'm not gonna lie, like I said, my average is like a 5, and I wouldn't say this was close to average. But I like Yanderes and I like Dark Elves, and it hit all my weak points. I'm gonna give it a 3.5, higher than Briggs.
Yeah, I'll give it a 2.5. Recon, do you want to rate your own anime?
4.5.
Nice. And this is what he recommended us to watch, guys. Okay.
It's an anime to make you guys suffer. That's it.
Claymore. Yep. I'm gonna try and not be biased. You guys go first.
So I liked it. I was curious on how much of like the exposition and things like that were just adaptation, because I want to read it at some point. I've heard great things about the manga. I did enjoy what I watched of it. I'd say based on just the first 3 episodes, though, I'd probably give it like a 6 out of 10 for now. But it has my interest enough to where I'd want to like keep watching it and see what happens next. Like I said, we ended at a terrible spot, end of episode 3.
I know.
First 2 episodes were
Shoot.
so self-contained, and then episode 3 is like where it wants to throw the big cliffhanger at us, and I'm like,
I
what
know. I
are
was
you
going to
doing?
get stabbed through the chest, and it's like, okay, we need to watch episode 4.
Yeah, I watched that one like first though, so I was like, I gotta like make sure I watch these other shows. If I keep going,
Yeah.
I might not like.
I'm
Get them
gonna
all
give
done
this a
in time.
5.5. 5.5 for me.
I'll give
It's
it a 6.
solidly average.
Yeah, it's pretty
Solidly
average.
average.
I'll give it a 6. I'll not be biased. I remember liking it, man, which is really sad. Dude, the exposition annoyed the fuck out of me, and but I remember I've also read the manga, and I do think the manga is probably a little bit better. 'Cause you probably won't, you're not able to hear Rocky's voice. I'm just kidding, chat. Anyway, let's move on to what we've all been waiting for: Samurai X.
Let's go!
Rurouni Kenshin, Trust and Betrayal.
Hitokiri Batosai!
All right. Before you guys give your thoughts on it, I do want to just say, last week I got vetoed. You know, I tried to make us watch like I got vetoed. Like I tried to make us watch a happy magical girl anime, and you guys made me pick something else, and then I chose this. I'm sorry for choosing this back-to-back weeks with like Takopi. Like I feel like that's 2 depressing anime in a row. But aside from that, I just wanted to give that apology real quick, and then you
Depressing.
guys give me your thoughts.
This was okay.
You say it
Brady,
wasn't
go first.
depressing?
Wasn't that depressing?
What do you
Takopi
mean?
was way more depressing. Come on.
I feel like Recon watched the wrong thing.
I got bummed
No,
out
I
again.
literally watched Samurai to the Trust and Betrayal, right? That one.
Yes.
Yes, honestly, Takopi was way more depressing.
Yeah,
but
it was.
Let's just save the discussion. Briggs, you go first.
It blew my mind. I've watched Rurouni Kenshin, and I like Rurouni Kenshin. I don't love Rurouni Kenshin. I loved this OVA 4-episode series. It was beautiful. I don't know what year it came out, but
Late 90s.
1999.
why is the swordsmanship and like choreography of some of those sword swings better than what we're getting in 2025? It depressed me how good some of, like, don't get me wrong, some of the stuff you couldn't see what happened, and they just kind of like it was sometimes a little PowerPointy, but that happens in all anime where like, yeah, the sword swing was so fast, whatever. But the ones where you actually see the movement of the person and the swings and the clashing of the swords, or the like slipping by the swords, it was just, I could have just watched hours of that alone, let alone a story of this kid who was I don't even know what, I guess he was like picked up in like a slave trade, but then the people that were taking care of him got killed, and then he got rescued by this samurai, and then the samurai trained him. I also found it really funny how he's like, "What's your name, kid?" And he's like, "Well, not anymore. That's a kid name." And I get
Samurai enough. You're Kenshin now.
You're Kenshin now. But I get what they were going for. It's like this kid's been through so much, and like he's gonna have to. He had to mature, or being forced to see and mature a lot faster than any kid should. And he's kind of being thrown into this world of being a samurai and training, and later on what happens. So I get the idea of what our guy, that samurai guy, was very philosophical. So he's just like, this kid has seen more than any kid should. He's no longer a kid. You are now Kenshin. At least that's what I think they were going for. I overanalyze some of these series, but I really like Samurai X. And before we talk about it more, I do want to hear your general thoughts, Recon.
So, watching this, it actually made a lot of sense now. Because having watched the new Rurouni Kenshin, the remake, both seasons, the characters in this one, the Trust and Betrayal, actually, some of them did come back, and I instantly just recognized, I'm like, oh, this is what happened. This is how they started. That's their backstory. And I'm like, this is good. This is very good. So, this is the origin of how Himura Kenshin became the legendary Hitokiri Batusai, the manslayer, who just kills people nonstop and is just completely undefeatable. He, like Briggs said, he was first of all enslaved. The people who cared for him died, and then he was rescued by his mentor named Seijuro, who then trains him to become the manslayer. He
didn't train him to become the manslayer. Our guy was the philosophical, like, peace person. Like, he didn't join in on any side, even though he had the power probably to like change a conflict and save people, and also He kind of had the mindset of like joining one side, like no, either side's not right here. If you join one side, you're just killing innocent people, potentially innocent people. So what's called our main character Kenshin actually did the exact opposite of what his mentor wanted. He joined the war or this conflict, and he's like, I'm going to use my swordsmanship to save people for defense. But in reality, he turned into this like manslay assassin, and he thought what he was doing was right. But as you later find out, the ripple effect, he murders this guy who was like a guard. Who had a fiance, and it caused this chain of events that led towards the end of the story. But sorry to cut you off there, Recon. He wasn't trained to be the manslayer. He was trained, and then he ended up becoming the manslayer.
I'm just making it sound cool. That's
yes.
But he's so his mentor trains him to like learn how to use the sword, and Himura is like this before. He's this kind-hearted guy, but as soon as he gets his first kill, that's when things changed within him. Like, his heart completely becomes corrupted in a way, so that his rest of his actions now is just continuously slay people until he made a vow, a very special vow where he won't kill again. And he learns new techniques so that he doesn't use, like, his sword to kill, but in ways to subdue his enemies instead of killing them. So
that's how he becomes the Kenshin that we know today. Because Kenshin that we know today doesn't kill anyone, right?
Yeah, even in the new ones, he uses like a lot his techniques just to subdue enemies, so he doesn't kill them. So this is a very good backstory. I really enjoyed it. Solid animation, even for a '90s anime. Great sword choreography, great fights. All leading up to where it is now, so yeah.
I think this Samurai X backstory or OVA was better than anything I've watched in Rurouni Kenshin.
I'm so glad you guys liked it.
Were you insane?
Were you happy it ended up being decent compared to when you first heard it was '90s Recon? You sounded so worried.
Honestly, I was worried, but it was very good, solid, very solid.
Like, I feel like this has to go on my top list. I don't know where I'm gonna place it. I'd have to figure it out. But it's one of the best things I've watched in a long time. Yeah. But also it's also exactly my cup of tea as well. Like, for example, Takopi's Original Sin. One of the best things I've watched in a long time. But it's not exactly my preferred type of show, so it's never gonna end up in my top 10 despite the fact that I love it, right? Samurai X, dude, it's up there for me. It was a beautiful story. It made me understand why Kenshin is the way he is now, and seeing him go through these waves of development and change. Because like you said, after his first kill, he changed. You see this color in his eye disappear, but then it starts to come back once Tomoe becomes his sheath, right? Maybe allows him to keep his humanity a little bit. But then we get all the reveals. Tomoe was the fiance of the guy that he killed. She initially went there to murder him, but then ended up falling in love, which is tragic as fuck. That she ends up falling in love. He fell in love with her, and it was started to enjoy this time of peace. And he finally started to see what his mentor had been saying, right? And then they set the trap, and you have that insane ending. Oh my god, I was so sad.
I genuinely don't even know why the new Rurouni Kenshin didn't even remake this one. I don't know why they didn't remake the Origins.
Well, this is
which is
I don't know what point they're at in the remake, but this is a backstory that takes place later on in the manga, after everything from the original anime, right? This is this would be after that Kyoto arc that ends the 1996 anime. They go back and they explore this backstory before they go further into the manga. So,
I think we have ended at the Kyoto arc with the new one.
Okay,
I think we have as well.
So they might have touched on some of this stuff, but I guess a bit of backstory here is I read Kenshin way back in the day, and I read pretty much the entirety of the manga, and then I watched all this stuff, and it's one of those things where I'm pretty good about separating the art from the artist. I always or at least tell myself I am, but for years now I've never really quite been able to go back and revisit Kenshin at all. So this is my first time watching it in forever, and it reminded me of what I liked so much about it was the tone that they capture with this OVA series is just such a stark contrast to everything else in Kenshin.
Yeah.
And it really just it puts you in that time period, right? Because the Meiji Restoration period, very depressing time, and he is in a point in his life where he's doing deeds that aren't really. It's not really making him out to be a hero, right? He is killing in cold blood a lot. He's not really a well-read kid. He's a well-meaning kid. He's not a bad guy, but he has this like blind idealism that like leads him to do all these things like for other people, and he's telling himself it's the right thing, right? But at the end of the day, it's a bunch of bloodshed, and he's doing all this, and not really heeding his master's words. His master's words are, to protect the people close to you. And by the time he has somebody close that he wants to protect, it's that his very sins from prior to that end up getting her killed, right?
Yeah.
So it's this very watching that this morning again, man. I'm depressed as hell. I don't know.
Dude,
so sad.
That final swing where like you don't even see her coming, but he doesn't see anyone coming either, and he just slices through both of them at the same time, killing his like the love of his life that changed him so much.
Yeah, and the fact that she fell in love with him over the course of that as well, because they spent a lot of time together. She saw that more human side to him, and like spending time humanized him past just some of the actions he had committed, right? Like she saw that he was pretty kind at heart, right? Like he wasn't or ill-meaning. He just was just kind of a little bit misguided and very not even misguided. It just I don't know. He was well-meaning, but like the actions themselves are are sinful nonetheless, I guess is a good way to put it, right?
I guess his mindset was, I have this power, I have this strength that could help people. And he came from the side that was like taken advantage of by the current shogunate and the current rules, right? With slavery and these other things that were going. So he thinks joining the faction that's fighting against the shogunate, that's doing this rebellion, is able to use his like weaponry or like his mastery in swordsmanship to like help people, when in reality he was kind of just ended up being used as a tool to meet certain ends and goals, and it didn't even end up working out in the end. They still failed. They were ambushed at some point, and that faction that he was helping fell apart. So all that murder that he did up until now was kind of for nothing, because the same shogunate stayed in power, at least at the time, like when they had to like retreat, right?
But say for a bit, I think after that he does keep fighting a little bit towards the end of that last episode.
Yes.
There is a power change there during the Meiji Restoration and whatnot. But yeah, it's like you said. There's always going to be fault with the people in power, right? And it's one of those things where if you're trying to overthrow that and stuff, there's ways to go about it that doesn't involve like a lot of innocent bloodshed, right? It kind of tackles those themes of like the cycle of hatred, the things that can go wrong there, right? Where
that guy was just a bodyguard, right? He was just a bodyguard, a normal dude, wasn't really even trained that much. He was doing it for his fiance, and then you have this trickle effect where like this guy was killed, and then the fiance gets affected, the father gets affected, the son gets affected, so on and so forth. These guys have families and stuff. He's just another worker essentially, but he's not on your side because you're on the side of the rebellion. And then once someone else gets in power, let's not pretend that there's not going to be other issues. Especially during that time period, there was probably tons of issues once a new shogunate ended up in power.
Right, and I think we see some of that in Kenshin, right? Like as far as it's not like always all sunshine and rainbows. Yeah, so it's but it's one of those where I think the stark contrast between the Kenshin that we typically know from other aspects of the series, with the him in the backstory that is just going through this very dark period in history and committing these atrocious sins, like I don't know, it helps to paint the full picture a little bit, right? Because the original Kenshin, it's more of a shonen. It tackles it very lightheartedly, and like they reference these events of the past of him being Bathosai the Manslayer, but they, it's hard to like fully like appreciate that with that lighthearted like shonen touch, right?
Yeah, it's true.
That lighthearted battle.
Like we just
shonen,
think he get a badass backstory when in reality it was the most tragic thing of all time. He was used as a tool and then fell in love. He ended up killing his love. Like it was just so tragic, and all those events ended up leading to him taking that vow to never kill again.
Don't worry, guys. You don't need to remember Tomoe. She wasn't even that important. I was like, cool when she died.
Shut the fuck
Don't
up.
worry. Kaoru is best. Kaoru is better. Kaoru is better.
Oh God.
Does Kaoru end up becoming his wife?
I don't remember.
Not yet. But she really loves him though, but not yet.
Got it.
I read the manga so long ago that like it's hard to recall. So.
Yeah.
But
Anyway, yes, I was wrong. He did end up afterwards fighting for the rebellion once again because he was already that committed, I guess, to like making this change that he sought after, and they did succeed. Correct? It was kind of like they did it a little bit of a montage towards the end. I more meant like all those years or all that time of killing initially, and then they ended with the ambush, and then him like having to like go into hiding, type of thing. They went into hiding for like a year, I think.
It was a long while, right?
It was a while,
yeah. For the seasons to pass, for him to like, remember some of his time spent as a boy, to start trying his hand at farming again, for that to kind of go awry, and you can tell they spent quite a bit of time out there, right? Which is kind of why they were able to fall in love and humanize the other, despite their circumstances.
Yeah.
One thing that did bother me a little bit is he many times throughout the series had to fight groups of swordsmen and like whatever, and he was able to be successful. But then the ambush, the trap that they finally planned, they sent like one person and then another one person and then like two people and then like one final boss with that used his fists, which was cool. But it's like this ambush. It's supposed to be an ambush. A whole reason to set a trap and have bait in the first place is to not give our main assassin who's unbeatable a 1v1. Like.
They did eventually go at him with the 2v1.
At one point,
I know what you're saying, yeah.
But it should have been like at least 6 dudes. Maybe he gets hit by a bow and arrow, and then like he kills them while bleeding and stuff. I know what they were going for, but it's like
it's not as cool, Briggs.
There was 3 guys. They had 3 guys.
They were 3 pretty strong dudes, okay?
But
good help's hard to find these days, all right?
But Toshai the Manslayer, dude, this legendary assassin that like could tilt the tide of war.
I will say though, I do appreciate the part of the plan where it's tackling it more from like the human side of things. Like no matter how heartless of a killer you think you are, like they went at him emotionally, right? They knew that her leaving like would kind of be his undoing. And his head wasn't all there as he like fought through them, right? He was kind of going through the motions.
He felt betrayed by his wife, or not his wife, by the love of his life. He thought that this person for this entire time was pretending in a way, potentially.
And I think there was a lot of guilt there as far as like what he had. Like,
so glad she died.
I'm gonna kill you, Recon.
He felt guilty, like learning with that realization that like he had put her through all that, right? Like even in those moments, his thoughts were more so on like his actions rather than
on hers.
Than on hers. But
like there was the thought of betrayal, I guess, but it was definitely more so the guilt on his side, having done
definitely
that,
a mix. But yeah,
right? Because there was the chance that she was being used as or like she was part of the plan rather than not being.
Because the actual mole or like the rat guy himself kind of came and told him like, hey, it was all according to her plan. She was the spy. Yeah. She went there. Go follow her, right? So, to lead up to that trap. So, I don't know. Good OVA series overall, though. I liked how it was put together. A lot of slow moments, but also some really good choreography in there. I don't know. It's just as good as I remember, honestly.
Better than anything I expected. Better than the entirety of Rurouni Kenshin. I absolutely loved it. I'm giving it a 9 out of 10.
Huge.
Watch the remake, Briggs.
I think I have it at an 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. So,
this was good. I'd give it a 9. Very good.
Let's go.
Hell yeah.
You guys could have had a cute magical girl anime instead, but adorable, wholesome.
That shit, man.
It would have been a fun time. It is heartbreaking.
Oh god, I hate this.
So for next week, we are watching XXX Holic. That's Jordan's pick, I guess.
Yep. Yeah. I went ahead and watched it. I enjoyed the 3 episodes I saw, so I'm gonna make you guys watch it too.
Cool.
I'm gonna give chat their wish.
Recon, do you have your pick?
I'm thinking. If you have one, Briggs, give it. If you have one.
I have my list here. I just don't know what to watch. Did we already watch King's Avatar? Was that Chinese?
Yeah, I've recommended that. Yeah,
we already did that.
King's Avatar. Yep.
It's still the worst thing we've watched up to this point.
Yeah.
Oh come on, that was not bad.
It was so bad, dude. It drove me crazy.
I thought about watching more, and then I started rewatching Isekai Smartphone instead. I just if I had to
I was
choose.
literally rewatching the first episode of Smartphone while you guys were discussing not yesterday's, last week's anime.
Have you watched there's this anime. Oh my god, I can't remember what it's called. Oh no. Damn it. Fuck. Sorry guys. There's this another Chinese anime that's out right now. Lord of Mysteries, I think.
Watching it, very good.
I really want to watch
mixed
it.
things on it.
I've
heard it's confusing but good. Like,
It's very confusing, but super high quality.
But I have not seen it. So.
Okay, I am down for Lord of Mysteries as my pick. Recon, do you have one?
I've already seen it.
I mean, okay,
I haven't
fine.
seen it.
Fine.
Fine.
But we can still talk about it. It's relatively new, isn't it? Still airing?
Yeah, it's still airing.
Yeah, so it's still fresh for you.
Yeah, but I've already seen the first 3 episodes, though. But anyways.
Have to watch Berserk, maybe. Didn't you say you want?
Yeah, I could just watch Berserk. Yeah. For me, lots to choose from.
Yeah, for me, it's like if I watched something years ago, it's like, okay, maybe we don't rewatch it for the podcast sometimes. But like if we watched it like this month or like thing, it's still new and something to talk about. Or something that's like seasonal.
Ooh. Okay, here's a good one. I want you guys to check out The Weakest Tamer Began a Journey to Become Trash.
That
sounds trash.
That one actually, I've seen the trailer, and it seems so like wholesome, or not wholesome, sad, but also wholesome thereafter.
Yeah, it's sad.
For this one. Yeah.
The
like
Weakest
quality,
Tamer Began a Journey. Yeah, it's very high quality.
Okay. I'm actually excited for this one. Let's go. The Weakest Tamer.
I'm not excited for it even a little bit, but
just letting you guys know, it got 7.50 on Mal, so it's very highly rated, and
okay.
a lot of people say it's good.
This is one I considered watching, but like I probably would not have watched on my own. But like if Recon recommends it, I'm more than happy to check it out.
Yeah, there we go. I guess we're watching whatever the fuck that is.
The Weakest Tamer began a journey to pick up trash, Briggs, and
yep, that's the one. Just call it The Weakest Tamer.
The Weakest Tamer. All right, guys, that's what we're watching for next week. We are going to aim for Saturday at 1. We might have some changes in scheduling that we'll have to talk about, but that's what we're aiming at for now. I hope everyone enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks for joining me, boys.
Thank you guys for having me. Bang.